Welcome to How It Works, a video series from law sites and LawNext in which you get to see hands-on demonstrations of legal tech products directly from their developers. I'm Bob Ambrosi, and on today's episode, a demonstration of the latest AI features of CosmoLex, a cloud-based legal practice management software that combines case management, billing, and full law firm accounting into a single platform. Joining me to tell us about it and show us how it works is Erica Birstler, Senior Direct Marketing Research and Competitive Intelligence. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Bob.
I'm looking forward to this. You may not realize this, but I've followed CosmoLex probably almost since the day it started. Way back, I met them way back in the ABA Tech Show many years ago, but I'm really excited to see how it's evolved and what some of the AI features that you've launched are. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing today?
Today, we're going to be talking about AI, and that's a obviously very exciting topic in the legal industry. And I will say, in being a part of the product team in rolling out the features, especially these AI features, we have been very customer focused. We've had hundreds of interviews with our users to understand not just the challenges they have in their day-to-day workflows, but also what's their opinion of AI, what are they comfortable with, what have they adopted so far. So we really wanted to roll out features that could be the most helpful out the gate, and I'll be showing some features of varying use cases. Different users would utilize different features in different ways, and I'm excited to show how that fits into the overall CosmoLex picture.
All right, without further ado, why don't we launch into it and why don't you show us what you've been doing?
So the first feature that we're going to be talking about is actually one of my favorites because there's no learning curve whatsoever. Any user could use this feature, and it helps with one of the biggest challenges when you have one single source of truth, which is how do I find what I'm looking for? And that is AI filtering. So here I'm on my matters page, and you see a full listing of all of my matters. And I could, of course, customize my view here. I could change my columns. I can use filters to find what I need, find a particular filter, put in a value, so on and so forth. But as many of our users have said to us, this is a lot of clicks. It's several steps to get where I need to be. How do we really simplify this and get the same end result? And with talking with our users, we discovered that being able to just say what I'm looking for is the best bet. I want to be able to tell the system what I need and just deliver it to me. So I'm going to go in our AI filter here, and I'm going to say, show me matters that have an unpaid balance greater than 0 and a trust balance greater than 0. So here, what I'm trying to get is, do I have unearned trust funds? Do I have money that's just sitting there that could have been earned that I should have been paying attention to? And right there, the AI filtering tool applied the appropriate filters, both the operations, the amounts, the actual filters themselves, and gave me my results really quickly. And I could see I have my unpaid greater than 0 and my trust greater than 0. And what's great with this is not only do I have my results, I got that quickly, great, but I can share this, I can save this, I can circulate it throughout my team by using our view feature, where I can name this view, let's say unearned trust funds. I could keep it just for myself or share it with maybe the individual who requested that information and easily get that to the team where they can run it anytime they need to going forward. So that wraps up the AI filtering. Any questions, Bob?
Yeah, are you able to do that across all of your matters, not just matters to a particular client or related to a particular client? You're able to look across the board.
Not even just matters. So I'm on my matter screen right now. I'm looking across all of my matters, but other areas in the system as well. So if I'm looking at my invoice listing or my time card listing or any other section within the software, I'm able to use this AI filtering.
That's great.
From here, I'm going to show you our document summarization tool. So document summary is a very popular application of AI. Definitely nothing too complicated, but it's very valuable in the legal space because at the end of the day, you're viewing tons and tons of documents. So if I go within one of my matters here, and I'm going to go to my document section, and I have this feature available in our native storage, so the storage that is provided with the system. I'm actually going to find a custody agreement here. And I could either just use the AI to get the summary, or I could do a preview, and that'll show me a preview as well as my summary. So here I have a high level, usually a paragraph or so summarization. I have key fields, so who are the parties here, what court system is this going through, what's the effective date, and then I have a high level outline. I love the outline because it gets a little bit deeper than just a paragraph, but it's still the highlights. So I'm able to get the gist of this document very easily without having to read through the full document itself. And that's our summarization. Any questions?
Yeah, so I might have missed this, but did you request the summary or are these auto-generated for every document?
On each document, it's when I click either the AI symbol or when I preview, it will automatically conduct that summarization at that time.
All right. And you mentioned this, your native document storage. Does that mean if a customer is using some other DMS system or something like that, then it wouldn't work? Or
Correct. This is currently just supported in our native storage.
yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Thanks.
Of course. And our next feature, which I think is our coolest application of AI, I'm a little bit biased, but for those that are involved in the intake portion of the business, I will say I myself have had several conversations across law firms about what areas they really struggle to maintain and due to the standard that they would prefer. Intake is a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, they're using Word templates or Excel sheets. And we do have a CRM add-on that is still very much available, but that's a very advanced marketing automation tool. And when talking with a lot of our users, they said, I just really want to have a simplified form of intake that gets me to onboarding those clients quickly. And one of the challenges that we would hear is firms love automation. They want to adopt as much automation as possible because that allows them to really reduce that administrative load on their business. But getting there, they don't know where to start. When you think about creating intake forms, custom by case type, sounds great, but where do I start? Am I going to start? When do I get over that hurdle? So we're actually applying AI in the sense of building those forms so they are high quality, case specific, but take seconds for the firm to actually implement. So here I'm going to go into our forms section, which is where I'm at right now, and I'm going to create a form. I'm going to call this for auto accident, and I'll save that. So I have a form here now. An intake form is basically a form to collect information from your client. The more specific, the more tailored it is, the less back and forth you're going to have, and the stronger data set that you have to really support your client. So you can come here and drag and drop fields if you want to manually build from scratch, more than welcome to. But we have this AI tool here, which allows me to create a form in just seconds, as I said. And one of the most common feedbacks we got from our users is, I have forms, maybe in Word or a PDF that I've used. How do I migrate that into a system? That seems like such a big task. So because of that feedback, we also added this insert tool where I can say, I want to take an existing intake form, and I'm going to give a prompt of create an intake form based on the attached. And I can get as specific as I need to in this particular prompt. But it's going to take that particular intake form and translate it into your editable form where I can continuously make changes, add and remove fields, and build on it as I need to. And there we go. Have my auto accident form that has client background information, accident information, and this was all based off of that Word document that I imported into the program. So in seconds, I have this very long intake form. Another example I wanted to give is if I don't have templates. I'm starting out fresh, maybe I really didn't standardize my processes. How do I build one from scratch? And in that case, I'm going to start one more new form. We'll do a divorce file. So I'll do divorce with custody because that's a specific case type. Mm-hmm. So we'll follow that, and I'll just put in my description. All right, now, again, I could build it from scratch, but I'm going to go with AI, and I'm going to say I don't have any resources, any documents to build this off of. Build me an intake form for a divorce case with custody. Generate. Now AI is taking from your standard types of information you would need with a divorce case when there's children involved, and it's creating that form for me. So now I have a divorce with custody form. I have some personal information, and then I get into case information. Actually, up here I have, case information. So date of marriage, separation, reason for divorce, custody information, who are the children, what's the arrangement, etc. So it gives you 95, if not 100% of what you need, and you can tailor on top of that. But I can create custom intake forms for all of my case types in under 5 minutes if need be. And this eliminates the barrier to our users actually seeing the value of automated intake down the line. So that's our AI intake forms. Any questions, Bob?
No, you actually already anticipated my question, which was going to be whether you could use AI to build author forms that you already had existing. But I guess one other question I have is, once you've created these intake forms, do they integrate into the next steps that follow along in the intake process in terms of doing a conflict check or that sort of a thing?
Absolutely. So these forms are then available. I have my list of forms here that I could send directly out to the client. But you've also led me into the sneak peek that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Which
Not
is
on
perfect
purpose.
timing, so thank you. So next month, early in August, we're going to release basic workflows, and then we're going to expand on this in the early fall. And I'm actually going to pull up a prototype to show that, because I think it's important to your point of, I have this form, I send it out, great, then what? Mm-hmm. What do I do from there to make sure that form does not sit out in limbo and never addressed? So here I'm in my workflow builder, and I'm going to go ahead and create a workflow. And I can build it from scratch. So our techie people who love to do triggers and actions can absolutely do that if they'd like to. You can leverage a template. We'll have a template library shortly down the line, or leverage AI. And again, we're trying to remove the barrier of really the implementation side of having that custom experience for you and your client, but not requiring a lot of lift. So here I'm talking with my agent, and I could say this is a client intake form. It is family law. And it's asking me what my trigger should be when the form's submitted. I'm fine with that, so I'm going to say approve. It's suggesting a flow, so to your point, and I promise we didn't rehearse this, conflict check, a scheduling meeting, request payment, send documents, follow-ups, etc. I like this flow, so I'm going to approve it. That took me 30 seconds, if that, and I now have a workflow which was completely tailored to my area of law, to the type of process that I want, and it is set up in a way that I just have to configure. So for instance, schedule a meeting. Whose calendar am I connecting? Which lawyer do I want to leverage? Payment. Do I have my payment processing already integrated? Hopefully I do. What is my amount for my consultations? What payment methods do I want to receive? So little things like that you configure, but the bulk of the work and the intimidating part of a workflow is how to even build it and how to get there. And therefore it's never leveraged, and they never automate because they don't get to that point. That's really what we're trying to do, is really take away any of those barriers or intimidation with setting up your processes to really truly leverage automation the way it should be used.
And that's coming down the pike. That's not available yet, you said.
Correct. We're going to have, in early August, we are going to have the ability to set up your workflow with meetings and follow-ups. And then shortly after that is going to be payments, documents, and other items.
All right, great. I'm glad to know I'm psychic, because I did not know that was coming next. But I'm glad I asked.
That's perfect. And that's it. That's the features.
All right. Erica, thanks so much for coming on How It Works today and showing us everything you've been working on there at CosmoLex.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you anytime. All right, that's it for today's episode of How It Works. You can find the full series on YouTube or at LawNext under directory.lawnext.com. This is Bob Ambrogi. Thanks for being with us today.